Yeah, yeah. Even when I was falling, I understood it was serious because it was one of those falls where I kind of started sliding and then rolling and then bouncing off things and just picking up speed the whole way. So I was gonna basically hike around the northern half of Folgefonna National Park. Um, Wanted to go in through the breen glacier tongue and then kind of head over into the next valley, the Tokheim Valley. Um, see the glacier there, and also go to make my way up that valley and to the hut. So yeah, basically the boots were just getting old and the sole started coming off. And I remember taking the boot off and looking at it. It's right on the side of the trail there, and somebody coming up the trail said, "Oh, is that a feature?" I kind of I had some athletic tape, and I basically taped the sole back on with this canvas athletic tape to kind of keep it on the boot and stop it from continuing to tear off. And that kind of worked, but it also meant that I had athletic tape on the bottom of the boot, so that compromised the grip a little bit. And then there were a couple other bad decisions I made. So during the fall, I understood that this was one of these. This was the start of something really bad. Where this is the start of something like you reading the books or seeing the movies. So yeah, I knew the fall was going to be bad. Um, at the bottom of the fall, came to a stop, impacted, and that impact broke my femur on my left leg. So that was a huge impact to break that bone. And um, I, I knew that I'd broken my femur, and so I was pretty shocked by that, and knew that that was a really bad situation, and ultimately knew that it was a really bad situation because I would not be, I wasn't really mobile. I couldn't really move more than a few feet. I knew I was going to have to wait until somebody raised the alarm. Somebody got worried about me, which probably wouldn't be until the very, very end of my planned hike. I knew that I knew that probably it wouldn't be till Sunday at least that anybody raised the alarm, and possibly not until Monday, because Monday was the day that I was gonna grab a bus back to Bergen and get my flight to the UK. And so yeah, I kept track of the days, and knew that I was probably gonna have to go till Monday. But then of course, Monday was terrible weather, really rainy, um, just getting really wet and cold. And um, I think Monday night, I remember looking, because I put my tent up on Monday to try and get in out of the rain, and the tent was being blown down the mountain because it would just get caught by the wind. So I couldn't put it up. I had to just kind of go into the tent as the tent was collapsed on the ground, and just kind of be in the tent, but without popping it up. And then I remember looking outside the tent and seeing that there was kind of something outside the tent, and I kind of poked at it, and it was like snow. It's kind of very slushy snow. So it was basically, yeah, getting so cold that it was starting to kind of form like slushy snow. I had warm layers. I had good raincoat, rain pants. Had a down jacket and a fleece, fleece layer as well. And and I had a warm sleeping bag, which was really, really important. That was key. That was the most key, yeah. To be able to get in and warm up overnight. I think the main thing that helped me was just not overthinking it and really focusing on the task at hand. Okay, I need to try to put my tent up, or okay, I need to, you know, put my sleeping pad somewhere, or I need to move somewhere that has less water coming down, or, just had kind of these things I would have to do each day. Or, one day it was really, really hot and sunny. So I needed something to kind of keep the sun off me because I was getting too hot and thirsty. And I didn't have any water, and that was a real problem. So I kind of rigged up this like sunshade where I took the pole from my tent and put my rain jacket through it, and then could kind of keep it up as like a sunshade, to keep the sun off me. Or yeah, getting something to drink. After 2 days on the mountain, I hadn't drank anything, and I just needed. I thought, this is getting dangerous. I need something to drink. So next time I had to pee, I peed in a water. I peed in my water pouch, and then just drank the urine basically over the next couple days to have some sort of liquids. Yeah, I mean, it was. So when the helicopter first came, they didn't see me, and they left and went back and got more fuel, came back, and I'd been getting ready for them because I'd taken up a tent pole and put a red bandana on the end of it. And so I was waving that, and waving, yelling, and finally got their attention. And the door of the helicopter opened and somebody waved back. And yeah, that was the best feeling in the world because, I knew that this finally was going to come to an end and that I had made it through. Um, and yeah, it was really good feeling because, at that point it's already 2 days after I'd been reported missing and the weather was just terrible. It was raining, you know. I asked a doctor here what would have happened if I would have stayed out there. And he said, he said, I think you know what would have happened. And I said, you think I would have died that quickly? And he said, yeah, once warmth becomes an issue and once your body has to start trying to stay warm in addition to everything else that it's dealing with, then that's when it really can compound and become overwhelming. Hey, this is Alec Luhn, and I just really, really want to give a extraordinary, gigantic, massive thanks to all the Red Cross volunteers who were out there searching for me. It was really, really important to know that there were people out searching, even when the helicopters weren't flying because of the weather, um, even when everything else was looking really grim. So thank you so much, and yeah, I really salute you guys and what you do. Um, it's just hugely important. Thank you so much.